As the fighting escalates in Gaza and tensions in the region rise, violence is also expected to percolate to the north and east of Israel. Over the weekend, Israel reportedly bombed airports in Aleppo and Damascus, Syria, damaging its runways. The strike comes after rockets were launched from Syria into the Golan Heights. And joining us now is Nadine Maenza, Global Fellow of the Wilson Center Middle East Program and President of the International Religious Freedom Secretariat. Nadine, always good to see you. A lot to get to, but first, I know you are just back from Syria. Tell us why you were there.
So I was in the northeast, where this government, the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, that has really the best religious freedom conditions in the Middle East, governs a third of Syria, one of the best kept secrets, where there are churches of Christian converts, has been bombed by Turkey, 200 airstrikes in just the past over a week. With 48 people killed, including civilians, children. We have electrical plants, water plants, destroyed, over 2 million people without water or electricity. So I was there to stand with them and really to see how they were recovering and why it is that the international community looks away at the crimes committed against them by Turkey.
Yeah, and we also mentioned the reported strikes on the airports in Syria. Apparently, it happened before Iran's foreign minister was set to visit the country. Nadine, what more do you know about that, and also Iran's relationship with Syria?
Right. So they're all, all these bad actors really interact and stand with each other. And of course, sometimes they say Syria is Iran's closest ally. So they really take cover Iran's deeds. And Iran, of course, wants to do this belt, right? This land belt from Iran all the way over to Lebanon and Israel through Syria. And like I said, the Northeast blocks that from happening. And Israel tries to bomb when they see Iran setting up shop, moving military equipment in. And we've seen these kind of attacks. In fact, last year, the year before, it was the year before, I was in Raqqa actually watching airstrikes, and I was told, "Oh, don't be worried. We know those are friendly fire," because they're given a heads up. It was odd to see that everyone not concerned about it because it's such a normal occurrence there.
Yeah, it really is hard for us to fathom over here what it's like over there. And I know that you know that region very well. Nadine, how do you see this war between Israel and Hamas playing out? I mean, do you think it's going to spill over to other areas of the Middle East?
There was so much concern. I was in Syria and Iraq as well. And as you know, the Iranian militias and the Nineveh Plains, for instance, control almost the entire Nineveh Plains. It's disheartening to see the impact on Syriac, Assyrian, Chaldean Christians there, how little agency they have, and how few are left, really. And part of it is because of the strength of the Iranian militias, and if in fact they were all to be called up to, as some have actually, the foreign minister said, Iran threatened, he said that the possibility of preemptive attacks by the resistance front is expected in the coming hours. And so, he has warned that they could really call up all their Iranian militias in Syria, Iraq, and other places to rise up against American interests. And that often religious minorities get pulled into all of that, even though they have nothing to do with that. In fact, they're not part of an American interest, but yet sometimes they seem to get the brunt of these wars and seem to impact them the most. So there's a lot of concern that if Iran enters, Hezbollah enters, what that will mean for Lebanon, where of course we have a sizable population of Maronite Christians and others, what this will mean for the religious minority communities in the Middle East who have already endured so much hardship.
We have probably about 30 seconds left or so, Nadine, but I want to give you the final word here. And where do you see this all going?
It's hard to know exactly, other than I'm glad that America is standing strong. It's important that we consider, how this affects other areas and places like Northeast Syria, where Turkey, Erdogan had complained that Gaza was without electricity and water, and hospitals and schools had been hit, yet he himself had been the one to hit hospitals, schools, electrical plants, and water plants in Northeast Syria. So, I mean, it's time we stand with our allies like the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, and we look out for our other allies in the area as all of this is going on.
Nadine, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for your insights. Always appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me.